Hello and welcome. My name is Meepolis, they, she, he, and this is Literally Graphic. And today I'm doing a series wrap-up for the short josei manga memoir series Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist Journey by Akiko Higashimura, translated by Jenny McKeon and published in English by Seven Seas Entertainment. This series ended up only being 5 volumes long, running from 2012 to 2015 in Japan and 2019 to 2020 in English. As it stands, I released an initial thoughts review in January of 2020 instead of waiting a couple of months to do a complete series review all in one go. But such is life. Link in the cards. Content notes for overstepping boundaries, productivity to the extreme, and death of a mentor. Hashtag fun facts. Akiko Higashimura is actually tied with Jiro Taniguchi for how many series / one-shots of theirs I have read and reviewed, although they both come in second to Taiyo Matsumoto, who I have read and reviewed slightly more. What an interesting triad I have going on here. What kinds of keywords came to mind reading this series? Art school, small town versus city, responsibilities, working, inspiration, creative life, hidden dreams, and mentorship. As the series continues, we follow Higashimura to art school. She isn't as productive as she would like, but thanks to Hidaka sensei's intensive training, she gets through. Volume 3, 4, and 5 deal with life post-art school. Despite Akiko's initial drive to become a manga artist, she flounders a bit post-graduation with telling other people what her goals are and actually working towards them. Highly relatable. Slowly but surely, and in opposition to some of the ideas her sensei has about Akiko's life, our heroine does manage to get the manga ball rolling, works way too much, and ultimately becomes the person who we see writing notes in her fiction series. One of the things that surprised me about this series is how much it revolves around the relationship Akiko has with Hidaka sensei. I guess when she leaves for art school in volume 2, I kind of thought that would be that, but much like how I moved back home after university, so does Higashimura. And sensei's gravitational pull is strong, and it seems like he has a plan for everyone. Having a difficult time asserting boundaries and pursuing my own plans was another part of the story I could certainly relate to. And to conclude, the series with Akiko and her fellow students all coming to terms with the death of Hidaka sensei was very interesting and moving. The art was another highlight for me. Simple but often emotive and pretty cute and lightly funny overall. Looking at the representation side of things, obviously memoirs are a bit one note, but here we go. As far as gender went, our protagonist is a woman, but the other end of the binary is also pretty well represented. Sexuality-wise, I appreciated the way that, while Akiko seems very interested in romantic stories and is involved in a couple romantic relationships with men, heterosexual relationships are not central to the plotline. Race, like in most manga, never comes up. Money and class comes up a bit, although it doesn't really add much to the plot. Or whatever that's called in a nonfiction book. And while we don't have any actual superheroes, Blank Canvas still felt at times like we were dealing with super-abled people because mangaka are notorious for working to such an intense degree. By the time she is actually writing this series, Higashimura does nod to how she doesn't work off that little amount of sleep anymore. Sorry. Overall, a very satisfying read and perspective on working through a couple parts of the Japanese art world. Higashimura is able to frame her experiences in a way that is likely to be pretty relatable to a lot of different kinds of people. Plus, it's an easy read. 4 out of 5 stars. Bio, keep reading, and organized and capitalist depression. And Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, an Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.